This series of powerful, enigmatic paintings had its beginning in the friendship between a painter and a poet. However, Ralph Hotere and the writer Bill Manhire never worked alongside one another. Their creative relationship evolved at a distance, with the painter responding to texts posted or handed to him and worked on later. Throughout his career, Hotere was inspired by his father, Tangaroa, who was a custodian of the Te Apuri Waiata, as well as a Catholic catechist. He imparted in his son a strong sense of language as an elemental presence, like wind or rain, rather than simply as a form of verbal communication. In the late 1960s, Manhire was experimenting with using language on the page in ways that were not conventional, which were visual. A postgraduate student in his 20s, Manhire was already getting noticed for his poetry. In his own words, the Malady collaboration began with a little book which played design games with 4 words: melody, melody, and my lady. These elusive bits of text are full of potential connections. One possible reading would have melody as an artistic expression through music. Melody could be the suffering of a young man in love. My lady could be the object of his yearning and to whom he sings his melody. The words lend themselves to visual arrangements, and their musicality is an important element. The repetitions of the word sounds, the slight shifts of sound that produce different meanings, the echoes of sounds, they can all be seen as a pattern of notes. At that time, Manhire believed the visual patterning of words had the potential to be as important as the words themselves. This approach struck a chord with Hotere, and in the panels, the language and the painting become one. Manhire prefers to think of his poetry as a catalyst or an agent for different responses. So the openness of his concrete poem, his little book, left room for Hotere to go in an entirely new direction. Manhire's small-scale typewriter letters were enlarged hugely by the artist, who applied the paint through the kind of industrial stencils used for labeling wool bales. The quiet, private utterance of the poem becomes monumental, you could almost say orchestral, in the gallery setting. Manhire's poem was a fertile starting point, something Hotere could extend far beyond its originating impulse to create this brooding, dramatic series of works.